Good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Jaret Lansford here. I hope you're having a great start to your Monday. It is, of course, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and we are looking at a pretty chilly one out there. A lot of sunshine. We're going to be warming things up a little bit as the day goes on. But we do have some other things to talk about beyond today. That includes a gusty day by the time we get to the middle of the week and a first alert 6 weather day for our coldest air of the season as we get a burst of Arctic air arriving in time for our Friday. So we'll talk about just how cold it's going to be as we get there and everything in the lead up to it in this live stream. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. And today is all about the cold sunshine. Winds will continue to decrease as the day goes on. Wednesday is our day where we pick the winds up once again. We could be talking 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts once again. And then Friday, first alert 6 weather day. Most of that day spent with wind chills 10 to 25 degrees below zero. So get ready for that. We'll dig in a little bit more into the details of how that plays out here in just a bit. Here's today, and you can see no clouds in sight at this time. We are at 6 degrees above zero. It is quite chilly out there. We were down at 2 at one point, so we have, if you can believe it, made a little progress over the last couple of hours. Feels like it's 11 below, though. It is not going to be a real warm day. We will continue to chip away at that wind that you see there, and with that decreasing, that will help out how it feels, at least a little bit through the afternoon. We'll get those wind chills back into the double digits by the time we're closing out the day. The air temperature gets to about 21 this afternoon. We'll start to throw in a few clouds as we get late in the afternoon, but overall it's a cold but nothing too unusual January day for our area. Colder air to follow later this week. As we get into tomorrow, let me show you what we end up with as far as our forecast there. Here's what I wanted to show you. We end up with a day where we see the temperature end up a little bit warmer. Not in the morning. We'll be starting off single digits once again, but as we go through the day, we should get a little more recovery, end up right around 30 degrees for our high. As we get into the afternoon, we do have the chance to bring a couple of snow showers in, particularly if you're north of the metro. This is nothing too worrisome, but I do want to show you how this plays out. And we'll have a lot more cloud cover around for our Tuesday. As we get to the afternoon, you'll start to see a little bit of this white with just a couple of specks of blue in it. So again, not much in the way of snow out of this. That white will struggle to get to the ground. Where you get the blue areas, that's where we may maybe get a quick flurry to light snow shower. Nothing that accumulates, nothing to be too worried about with that. But don't be surprised if you see some flakes as we get into the second half of our Tuesday, and you can see it clears out as we head into the nighttime hours. Once we get beyond that, we actually get even a little bit warmer for Wednesday, up to 44 for a high. The problem is, of course, we kick the wind up alongside that. Can't have a perfectly nice day here in January, can we? We are going to be looking at those winds being just about as strong as they were yesterday when we got gusts that were up around 50 to 55 miles per hour in the evening. Those kind of gusts will be possible once again late in the afternoon into the evening for Wednesday. So here's how it plays out. We'll start the day with winds out of the southwest. That helps to propel those temperatures upward, and we make our way into the 40s on the back of those. And then as we get into the afternoon, you'll notice the wind direction changes, and we turn those to the northwest, and we pick those up. Get some of those gusts up around 50 miles per hour. Wouldn't be shocked to see a couple that end up closer to 55, especially north of the metro out of this round either. So once again, here we go. We'll have the winds get very strong on us. Those will slightly improve as we get later in the evening, but it'll be another set of PM hours where things get very gusty on us once again. So make sure everything's tied down as we get into Wednesday afternoon and evening. Thursday, pretty quiet. We'll have a breeze around, but otherwise rather uneventful. We'll be in the 30s. So let's fast forward to our first alert 6 weather day, which is Friday. And you'll notice as we get into Friday or Thursday night, we will start to drop the temperature back pretty quickly. Notice that low of 3 below by the time we get to Friday morning. And we only recover to 4 above in the afternoon. It is our coldest air of the season. We actually have not gotten below zero in the metro yet this year. That looks like it happens for the first time pretty easily by Friday morning. And then we struggle to get back above zero in the afternoon. Wind chills pretty much all day will be 10 to 25 below, closer to that 25 below in the morning. and then in the double digits below zero most of the day. It's the fact that we increase cloud cover alongside those kind of morning temperatures that will make it so tough to get any kind of recovery in the afternoon. So here's how it goes, and you notice by the time we're getting to Thursday evening, wind chills, you're looking at wind chills, will be drifting back to near zero, and as we go through the night, those continue to drop off. This comes with a bit of a breeze that'll be in place, and those kind of temperatures you get below zero, it does not take a lot of wind to really drop those wind chills off. So we're talking winds that are probably 10 to 20 miles per hour, but that's enough to knock the wind chill down around 15, 25 below zero as we start off our Friday. And you're going to notice that that just doesn't really change as we head into the middle of the day, into the afternoon, still in the double digits below zero. And then as we get into Friday night, we at least thankfully get the wind to die down. But you'll notice that the wind chills start to improve by the time we get to Saturday morning. That is because of the winds dropping. It's not because the temperatures really improve, as we'll start off below zero on Saturday once again. Thankfully, this is kind of a glancing blow that we get from this. Right now, you can see kind of on the edge of a cold blast in our area, and that moves east. That's where we get our recovery for our Tuesday and Wednesday. But then our next one, you'll notice, starts to make its way in from Canada. That's the very deep blues and purples that you see right over the upper Midwest. And that's where we get our coldest air of the season. Now, you'll also see, as we get into our Saturday, that starts to make its way off to the east and will slowly improve as the weekend goes on. It's still going to be cold Saturday, just not as cold. And by the time we get to Sunday, we will be seeing a little more recovery. So let's put some numbers on that. So there's what we talked about for this week with the near 20-degree high today, a few clouds late. A couple snow showers north of the metro Tuesday as we get into the afternoon hours, about 30 for a high there. And then on Wednesday, we get our warmest day of the week, though that does come with a lot of wind, particularly in the afternoon and evening. Also, a couple flurries possible with that. Doesn't look like there's much moisture with that. Thursday, mid-30s, mostly cloudy, breezy. And then as we get into our Friday, that's where we see our coldest conditions with us. As we go forward, starting off about 3 below again on Saturday, we'll end up peaking about 13 degrees, so not warm by any stretch on Saturday, but it does start to improve anyway. And then we're up into the 20s for Sunday, and likely hanging around that 30-degree mark as we start off next week, the way things are looking right now. Now, I will say, as we look at the temperature trend for the rest of the month and into the very beginning of February, it's kind of a battle. We've got the two different air masses here with the colder than average to the east, the warmer than average to the west, and we're kind of in the middle. So there may be some more of these quick swings in our temperatures as we're going through the final days of January and start off the second month of 2026. So just be ready for things to be changing pretty quickly once again at times as we are heading over the next 10 to 14 days. So that's what to expect. Soak up that sunshine today and then enjoy the slightly warmer temperatures that are going to be with us over the next few days before we go into the deep freezer for Friday. I'm going to be live here coming up at the top of the hour, 11 o'clock on First Alert 6, and we'll talk a little bit more about how things play out and have the latest updates for you there. And, of course, we'll continue to keep you posted over the coming days with how things are looking by the end of the week. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a great rest of your holiday.